70% of divorces are filed by women. And I know men are going to push back and say that's part of the problem. But let's not also forget that women are 70% more likely to ask their partners to go to counseling with them. And what do you think the percentages are that the man has any desire to go? I bet they're not 70%. And this isn't about shaming or blaming men. I realize women can neglect men as well. I'm just simply warning all of us. There's a dynamic happening in your relationship, and it would be wise for you to pay attention to whether it's healthy or not before you lose it completely, like I did. I got complacent. I got lazy emotionally, and with pride and arrogance, I created a narrative in my head that I was right and she was wrong, and my marriage slowly deteriorated, and yours will as well if you don't pay attention. I can tell you firsthand, it's so much easier to ruin a relationship than it is to put one back together. It's so much easier to drift apart rather than intentionally protect this relationship by prioritizing each other and staying close. It's so much easier to slowly and unintentionally destroy trust and emotional safety than to rebuild them from the ground up once they're shattered. Trust me. My message is simple. Don't be so arrogant to think it can't happen to you. Be proactive. You don't have to be blindsided when she leaves. The warning signs are there. I can see them in the way you avoid conflict, or in your defensive nature, or the way you dismiss her feelings. I can see them in the name calling, or every time you say, your feelings aren't my problem, or I guess nothing I do is good enough for you. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but she does the same thing to me. She's critical. She's passive aggressive. She doesn't give me any credit for anything. Okay, this isn't about pointing fingers, remember? This is about the dynamic, and you just admitted it's unhealthy or unfair. So what are you doing about that? Why aren't you initiating counseling? Why aren't you reading any marriage books on communication or conflict resolution or how to love each other better? Because I can tell you, the way we win in relationships isn't by burying our head in the sand and by pretending that there isn't a problem even though she's voicing concerns or complaints, and to use that as an opportunity to voice ours as well. No, there's a better way. And on the other side of things, I'm just telling you, the better way is better. But it takes you understanding that counseling should be our first response, not our last resort. Most people go to counseling after their marriage has already died, and they learn a bunch of helpful communication and love skills that they don't really even want to practice on each other. You have an opportunity to change this, but it takes humility, it takes accountability. It takes for you to stop fighting with her and start fighting for the health of this relationship. It takes understanding that you never learned what healthy looked like. And it's not until you get into counseling and learn about your trauma and read some good books, you'll go, uh-oh, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I was unintentionally hurting you and didn't realize it. And that will be the day that your partner looks at you and sees who they fell in love with all those years ago. Don't wait as long as I did to have your light bulb moment.